need to watch under y'all damn nuts.
Good evening, Melbourne and Geelong. Welcome back to another episode of Bet TV with Ladies Bring a Plate with Ginni Saraswati, Anne Kenneally, Megsy Smith and Lisa-Skye. Almost forgot your name there, Lisa. It's so bright and vibrant. Discussing all the hot topics here with the ladies. Now, this segment's called Ladies Bring a Plate. Unfortunately, all of us failed. Didn't bring the food, didn't bring anything really. We kind of left it up to the Bet TV people here. But one thing I want to talk about these days is, or tonight is, femininity. There's a lot of subdivisions here in the gay community, and I think a lot of these terms of identity are used more in our community than any other community. Would you agree?
I'm not part of the gay community because I'm not gay. I'm queer, so I wouldn't know.
When I say, sorry, I should say LGBTIQ community. That's
Thank
probably
you.
a more apt thing to say. Sorry.
Hooray for queer visibility.
I think what I find is here, like, we are so, we encompass everything of the alphabet soup. Like, when you go overseas, they only stop at the LGBT. They don't actually add the IQ. In Australia, we actually do, which I found really interesting.
I was in Berlin recently, and they were using LGBTQQI.
Wow.
Yeah, interested in intersex. Yeah. Queer and
Really?
questioning, yeah, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, transvestite, queer, questioning, intersex and interested. Interested were like allies, yeah.
So there's the AZ allies.
The AZ allies?
AZ allies in that whole alphabet soup then.
Oh, no, I was ally, as in interested, yeah.
Interesting.
Really?
Yeah. It kind of, if you squinted, looked like the word glitter, so I was on board with it.
Well, that's a way for it to get stick in your mind. But the LGBTIQ community, let's just say here in Australia, it's obviously, it's got lots of diversity here. Probably, in terms of scrutiny, I think, would you say there's pressure for identity because there's such a vast range of things? Like, I know growing up, like, I'm from a Sri Lankan background. For me, because I moved here when I was so young, I still had my Sri Lankan heritage behind me and was kind of like, well, where is my identity? I identify this way. Do you think nowadays a lot of pressure to go, okay, this is how I am and this is where I need to be?
I think it's always really difficult to try and find your identity. I know that personally it's actually taken me a long time to sort of figure my stuff out and sort of really find my identity, but it's something which you sort of have to try and do when you're trying to fit in with society. And it's just like, well, the whole societal thing, well, why do you have to try and fit someone else's constraints? Maybe just being queer and sort of floating around is probably something which is a little bit better. But I know that who I am, I obviously identify with being female, but that's obviously just the way in which things work for me and the identity that I've managed to build.
Yeah, I think that really comes back, femininity also comes into identity. Like, I found when I first came out and I was like, right, okay, I've admitted to myself I like ladies. And then I was living in Newtown and I really felt like I wasn't accepted because so many people, and it wasn't just one, would say, oh, you're just some chick that wants to try it, because I was really femme. And I felt like there was something wrong with being this femme lesbian, and it questions my own identity. And I found myself, you know, flannel shirt, ripped jeans, and then after I was like, actually, no, this isn't me. I'm trying to do this to fit in. Like, I want to wear this because I want to wear it, not because I'm feeling I need to wear it to identify as a lesbian. And that took a really good 2 years to define who it was, and now I feel comfortable wearing jeans and t-shirt or wearing a dress because I'm doing it for myself.
That's a really common journey, I think, with queer people. Like, how do you present as, like, radically feminine? I know I super love labels. I'd love to know what you guys think of them, because I see them as the beginning of a conversation, not the end of one. It's like, you know, kind of the thing written on the box, not the contents of the box. And I tend to rely on them a lot in, like, interpersonal relationships and stuff. So I identify, for example, as a femme daddy, and also as post-gender. I do femme in, like, a drag queeny way more, because, you know, growing up as the little fat kid, I was always taught that, like, femininity was, you know, for thin chicks. Like, the girls, and Kimberly Dark speaks about this too. She's problematic, but she's also kind of great. Yeah, about, like, how if you're a little fat kid, you're always, like, the boy in school plays. Whereas if you were, like, you know, the thin one, you were, like, the heartthrob, the Sandy in Greece, you know, so.
Oh God, I'm not the Sandy in Greece. I do have the hair. I don't know how to.
You got the black top going on.
I've got the black top going. The black's actually really good at holding the.
You probably don't have the rape apology of Greece, so, you know, that's good.
No.
Yeah.
No.
God, I hate it. Anyway.
I reckon for me, when I started coming out when I was 18, going out to places as well, I kind of found too, I had long hair, I wore the dress, I still do. And I think for me, I kind of felt like you, Carly, went to fit in. I felt like, well, how are people going to know I'm actually queer?
Yeah.
Like they're gonna go, oh, you know, she's just here being a hag. She's supporting the peeps. She's being, you know, she's being a lesbo, hanging out with her lesbian friends. But no, and I remember a friend of mine. I was chatting to her in the States, and she said to me, she's an ultra femme model. Like you would actually, if we're gonna look on the scale, she would be a lipstick lesbian. She actually felt she had to shave her head. So people were, because people looked at her and went, nah, there's no way that you're a lesbian because you're that feminine and you're that heterosexual looking. And
That's awful.
Yeah.
And after all those experiences, I find myself doing it. Like if I see someone, I'm like, oh, she's gorgeous, and I think, oh no, she looks straight. And I'm like, after everything, I do it myself.
I catch myself doing that too. I'm like, that's not really, that mentality is really hard to get rid of.
I do it as well because I'm attracted to femininity. So when I see a woman and she's really butch, well, I'm not really sort of attracted to that. But when I see a woman who's really femme, I'm like, I really like that. But then again, how do I know she's lesbian? If I try and flirt with her, hit it up, well, what's going to happen? Yeah.
But also, it doesn't, I think, matter anymore. It did when I first came out. I don't think it matters if they identify as a lesbian or not anymore. There are so many, like you were saying, fluid labels that I'm starting to be comfortable in the fact that, okay, it's all right if they only identify as straight, but there's many more people out there that just don't identify as anything or as multiple things, I should say.
And things can change, you know, like you can just move across the spectrum. Like, sure, they identify straight. They haven't met me yet.
I think we need this is my theory, I think we need you know Charlie's Angels, how they have that zapper gun?
Yeah.
We need when someone enters a club, you need to zap them and it'll come up going 50% bisexual, or you know, tendencies here and there.
It's a gaydar gun.
Like the
gaydar gun.
The idea of flagging is a really great one. But it was kind of had a mild resurgence in Melbourne.
What's that?
It was like appropriated from gay 70s culture, I believe. But wearing a hanky on a side of your body and different colours. And there's blogs about it now, like what it means. And you don't need to know that, maroon means armpits, hunter green means daddy. You know, you could just say, oh, what are you flagging? And that's a really good conversation starter for queers. So I wear mine every day.
How funny is that? I used to live with a drag king, and I remember her telling me about that, but it kind of was something that flew over my head.
So it's a great way of literally flagging that you're queer, and then you can just be like, oh, what are you flagging? Oh, this.
Ladies, no matter what you identify as, we hope you're happy being you. This is Ladies Bring a Plate here on Bet TV, signing off for another night.